Hello Taurus, welcome to February. This is Gwendolyn. Just welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. I have some fun things to say about February. I'm going to be, excuse me, doing some compatibility videos. I have one of those done already, but I will be continuing to do videos on each of the sun signs and their compatibility with each other, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. But otherwise, this is just going to be a video on February for Taurus. So let's get straight into the reading. I've already pre-shuffled the cards here, so I'm going to just go ahead and get into the reading. It looks like at the beginning of February, Taurus, there's two things going on. One is that there might be something going on at your house that feels upside down. Four of Wands is usually about stability and usually about, joyousness. It's about ceremony. Sometimes this card depicts marriage, where the people are getting married under this garland with the rods here. That's a very typical image for that, and you can see the castle in the background. So that has to do with, like, home is your castle. It has to do with festivity, celebration of domestic life, that sort of thing. But with February opening with that in reverse, there may be a way in which home life feels disrupted, or it feels like unsteady, on unstable ground, because 4 also is a very stable, solid number. It emphasizes rigidity and boundaries and stability. So there may be some instability regarding your home at the beginning of February, Taurus. But it doesn't look like it's affecting you too much. It looks like you're still in a position of feeling satisfied. This is a card, 9 of Cups. This is a card of wish fulfillment and a card of satisfaction, a card of feeling full. So the sense that I'm getting is that if you are, say, home hunting at the beginning of February and things look topsy-turvy or they look undetermined, that somehow you end up getting what it is that you want. This is wish fulfillment. This is satisfaction. This is, again, feeling full. So even if things are going crazy at your house, like this could be even just like a chaotic, crazy home life, but you're sitting in the middle of it just going, you know what, I'm okay. Regardless, I feel full, I feel satisfied, even though things may look crazy in my immediate environment, in having to do with my home life. I still see you as very optimistic. See the yellow in both of these cards? You have a lot of this sunny energy anyway, Taurus. So that's a good sign for the beginning of February for you. Even though your house may look upside down, it may be topsy-turvy, there's still a certain way in which you are coming out of it sitting pretty. You're still emotionally fulfilled, and maybe it's your emotional fulfillment that is causing you to not really get wrapped up in that chaos, in whatever's going on around you regarding your home. I also see that there is change happening, and it may be change that you're resisting, Taurus. It could also be change regarding the home, since both of these are in reverse. But I also see you sitting in the middle of it, and kind of being at peace or being okay. It's almost like you're at the eye of the storm, and the storm may be going on around you, but you're here like, no, I'm content. I've got my cups all in a row here. This is emotional fulfillment. So whatever you're doing to keep yourself in this position, Taurus, keep doing it. There is some resistance that I would like to point out to you in terms of this is the Wheel of Time. This is Wheel of Fortune, and this is change. This is time changing things. You can see the hand here of the divine that is just changing the seasons. And this is saying whoever's on the top will be on the bottom. Whoever's on the bottom will be on the top. This is just the natural evolution of the seasons. And when it's in reverse, there's some sort of resistance to change, or resistance to things disrupting the current system or the current order. It could also just be fear or delay, like things are changing and you don't want them to change, or you're fearful about what's coming up next, therefore you're resisting change. See if you can open up to the idea, Taurus, that this might be okay. That whatever, time naturally changes things. It's a part of nature. It's not something to be feared. If you can embrace that instead of resisting against it, if you're noticing trepidation, anxiety, resistance, any of that, see if you can embrace what it might mean for change to be good. Because I do see that you may be in a point of evaluating what's going on, where your life's at, where you're going, what's come before. Seven of Coins is depicting the farmer who stands in his garden, in his yard, amongst his crops, and evaluates, okay, what sort of result am I getting from the actions that I've been taking? Is this the harvest that I want to be reaping? So are the seeds that I'm sowing yielding the results that I want? This is usually a card of patience. It's a card of taking a moment to reflect and consider and reassess, like, is this the direction I want to keep going in? Do I want to keep sowing this type of crop and keep harvesting this sort of yield? Or do I want to switch things out? Do I want to do something different? Do I want to go in a different direction? That could be part of what this resistance is that knowing that things are changing, but maybe saying, no, I want things to be the same. I want to keep harvesting the same thing. This is a card of patience. So with this coming in the upright position, it does show that you do have a good sort of judicious eye right now in terms of assessing things. It can be a time of reassessment and changing directions. So it could just be saying that even though there may be resistance or fear or hesitancy, delay in things changing, you might be planning for the future or looking to go in a different direction, saying, I want more of the same, but I may need to adjust it, reassess and change directions a little bit to keep getting the same type of yield or different yield. So whatever it is that you're satisfied with right now, Taurus, see if you can embrace whatever changes are happening and adapt. That's a word that I'm going to use for you with these two coming up. See if you can adapt whatever it is you're doing that's keeping you in this good state to your changing circumstances and planning for the future so that you keep getting the same yields, the same results that are making you happy, but perhaps in a different set of circumstances. So that's what Wheel and Seven of Coins says to me. Is it's actually an opportunity right now to pause and assess before this change comes up, because it looks like change is there, but it's in delay, or it's in resistance, or it's being held at bay for some reason. It's giving you a chance to pause and say, okay, do I like what's happening? Do I want to continue that? Do I want to continue the same types of actions that yield these results? Or do I want to plant something different? Do I want to... It's just a card of reassessment, consideration, reflection on actions and the results that those actions are causing. So, then in the middle of the month, it's an interesting thing here with Sun and Star. Sun being in reverse and Star being in the upright position. What this can speak to is the Sun is always a positive card in the upright position or in reverse. It's a card of vitality. It's a card of like when our creative powers are at their fullest. It's a card of integration. It's a card of feeling full, feeling vibrant, feeling joyful. You can see in the Sun that both the male and female aspects are balanced. It means an acceptance of the self and the other. It means an acceptance of the female side of things and the male side of things. It's integration. It's wholeness. And Star is a card that has to do with self-acceptance, has to do with hope, has to do with connecting to our own unique place in the universe, in nature. You can see, I always point out in this card that there's the stars, there's the bird, there's the tree, there's the flower, and there's the woman. So they all have their place in the world, and they all have value, intrinsic worth. And that's what star has to do with. It has to do with self-acceptance. It has to do with recognizing your own worth in terms of just being a natural creature of, of the world. So the sense I'm getting is that it may be a time in the middle of the month to focus on self-acceptance and hope, and stripping things away that are not necessary in terms of your definitions of yourself. Because you see, she's naked in this card, which reflects self-acceptance, acceptance of who you are, just as when you were born as a babe. Before you put on any hats of, say, mother or father or, any profession or any definition of yourself, this is just you on a very concrete base, primal level, and it's full of beauty, it's full of worth, it's full of self-acceptance. So I get the sense, Taurus, that may be a theme for you at the middle of the month that is needing embracing before you can get into this integration, before you can really allow the full light of day shining on you. This is something, as you can see, the difference between these two cards is this is a card of night, this is a card of day. So this is like got soft, gentle, reflective energy to it. This is also a card of reflection, so I kind of get the sense that maybe there's some reflection that needs to go on for you before you can come out and be the full, vibrant self that you are, before you want to share that with the world. This has very Leo qualities, which is all about, expression, creativity, being in the spotlight, being out in the world, being vibrant, being joyful. This is more quiet. This is more reflective. So, and this is 2 energy here, which is 2 of Wands, which is personal power. So that's being questioned, it being in reverse. There's some way in which there may be something that's causing you to doubt your own personal power. I sometimes call this card "The World is My Oyster," or, I hold the world in the palm of my hand. And you can see this is a dual card, a card of 2, where there's someone who is supporting you. So with these being in check right now, with these being in reverse, I'm really getting the sense that you may need to integrate whatever ideas that you're collecting from something that has happened to reflect on your own worth, your own place, your own self-acceptance and self-awareness before you can engage in fully being present to relationships, fully being present to your own power, because actually Sun and 2 of Wands do speak to your own personal power. This is more of a joyful, vital, expressive quality, and this is more of a, I want to go climb that mountain, what are my dreams that I want to accomplish. So this one is sort of more of an active energy, and this one is just an energy of being, of expression, of, this is like, it's funny how this goes from self-acceptance to self-expression to activity. These cannot be fully accessed. That's why they're in reverse until this is dealt with. And I also want to talk about this card is that one of the things that it's saying here is that sometimes this card is called, gosh, I'm blanking on what I usually call this, picking up the pieces. So sometimes you have to look at something that the sun has set on. This depicts a battle where someone is picking up these swords that are left on the battlefield, and swords represent air, which represents mental energy, thoughts, ideas, wisdom, experience. So this is like learning the lessons from a battle, reflecting on something. It's interesting that it comes right after this card of reflection and reassessment. It's sort of like saying, well, with what has happened, how can I pick up these silver linings. What is to be learned from this? What are the spoils of war here? What are the things that are left over on the battlefield that I can take and collect with me? What are the pieces to be picked up? And I get the sense, Taurus, that it may have to do with letting go of a home or letting go of a home situation. Like here's the sun has set on this. And it's sort of like saying, well, what can be gained from this? What ideas, what new knowledge, what pieces of wisdom can I collect to bring with me to have a better sense of my own self-knowledge, have a better sense of peace, a better sense of hope, a better sense of connection to myself and to the world. There is something learned here, and it can be sometimes letting go. That's also what this card can depict, is like, you know, I'm going to let all that stuff go, but what can I learn from it? And therefore connect better with myself, have some acceptance. That's another theme of this card. That's going to be needing to be worked on before you can get into the full expression of your being, the full integration, and then pursuing your plans. It's kind of like both of these are in check until you deal with this. So that's going to be a theme for you for the middle of the month, Taurus. The sense that I'm getting, because February can be such a partnership-themed month, is that there may be some work to be done on yourself in terms of loving yourself and self-acceptance and learning from old things, maybe old battles, maybe something that the sun has set on, and collecting that wisdom and experience to get the full lesson of this card before you can proceed to this. This is here waiting for you. You know, the sun's sitting here, and so is Two of Wands. And it's great partnership energy. It's great enthusiasm as far as following your dreams, accomplishing things, feeling you're connected to your personal power, feeling like you can go climb that mountain. The world is my oyster. But this is kind of like a chapter ahead until you complete this one. So I'm going to include a link to this star card for you, Taurus, because I think that's a very pivotal one for you for this month. Then, towards the end of the month, wow, look at this, 2 aces. New beginnings here at the end of the month, but I'm going to talk about these first. This card is 4 of Cups, and this card is Fool. So, what's beautiful about both of these cards is that there's new beginnings available for you if you can manage to break out of your shell, break out of the stability, the routine, I think is probably the best word to use there. If you'll see, there's a common theme actually in all 4 of these cards, but see this card, this Ace of Cups? This is new beginning, new heart energy. Aces are always new beginnings, and this means new joy, new love. My cup runneth over, feeling emotionally fulfilled. Cups represent emotional energy, which is water energy. And this is actually an echo. This is appearing twice in this bottom row. This is an echo of this right here. This is this cup, this Ace of Cups. You can see the cup is being handed from the sky to you. And same thing here. It's coming from the sky, from the divine. But you have to look up to see it. The 4 of Cups is a card that has to do with feeling like everything's routine, the same old, I'm bored, you know, here's those 3 cups again. I call it the Rip Van Winkle card because you can see that these plants are growing around the figure, and it's sort of like a navel gazing kind of card, like, oh, it's always the same old, I always get in my car, I drive to work, you know, that same thing happens every day, blah, blah, blah. I'm checked out and I'm aloof and I'm bored. What this card shows is that the world is trying to hand you something. There's new love, new joy, new peace, new creativity, all those emotional fulfillment types of words that is coming at you. It's like waiting for you to take that cup. But you have to look up and out of your current, I'll say, self-occupied state. And because it's a 4 in reverse, just like this one, Fours are stability, fours are routine, fours are that base. So I'm going to say you're going to have to look up and out of this base. You're going to have to challenge your routine, challenge things that are de rigueur, everyday stuff, to even see this new cup. And that's where the innocence and the openness, the faith, the trust of this Fool card is. This is a card of like all things are possible. Fool is the first card of the major arcana, and it's the 0 card, as you'll see. So Fool is lighthearted, he is carefree, he can be a little bit silly, he doesn't worry about stuff too much, he's pretty happy-go-lucky, and he's very innocent. That's what this white rose represents, and the white dog, his companion. It's openness, and it's like a new adventure awaits is definitely Fool energy. Like where shall I go today? It's kind of like Vagabond, where anything can happen. So with this being in reverse, it's a lot to do with this. And again, it's echoing this 4 in reverse. It's saying, you know, there's something to do with your established 4 energy, you know, day-to-day stuff, house and home, castle. Like this is rigidity. And it can breed complacency. So you need fresh, new emotional energy to come in. You need to allow that in. And it may be sort of like that's blocked right now because 4 is in reverse. It's not being seen. So whenever I see this card come up, I always say, you know, what can you go see that you don't normally see? Can you take a different way home? Can you talk to someone new? Try something out that is outside of your normal experience. And that may allow the room for this Ace of Cups to come in. You have to look up and out of your normal experience, whatever that means for you. And then this Fool energy can come in. You actually, when you unlock this will unlock as well. Look at this row you have here, Taurus. You have 9 of Cups, emotional satisfaction, Star, self-acceptance, and hope. And then you have Fool opening up, which has to do with faith, with trust, with feeling like all things are possible. It's a real card of possibility and openness. So these are beautiful cards. It's sort of like you're unfolding during the month, but you have to almost challenge your day-to-day, you know, this is all there is kind of feelings. And then once you do that, look at what's waiting for you. This is Ace of Swords, which is clarity. It's truth. It's like an aha moment. There's also love here. And I often call this card Truth with a capital T. It's a new thought, new idea, truth. It's also, I connect this with the Excalibur, the sword of Michael, which has to do with truth that cuts you free, you know, from anything that's not true. And then this card, Ace of Cups, has to do with enlightenment, emotional fulfillment. My cup runneth over. It's joy. It's peace. So with this double ace energy, whenever aces appear together, they amplify one another. So you've got this wonderful new beginning at the end of February, Taurus. See if you can break out of whatever's holding you back in terms of rigidity. See if you can do this unfolding that's happening for you. So that is my reading for you for February. It looks actually like it's going to be a lovely month for you, Taurus. If you enjoyed the reading, please feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with another Taurus who you think might enjoy the message. And as always, I just want to thank everyone for watching. Yours in the stars.